Hello, 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 good people. Welcome to Testimony Tuesday with Hanisha. I hope and pray that you are having a blessed and wonderful day, or afternoon, or evening. And I hope and pray that you are feeling well, you're in good spirits and good health. And just want to say I'm happy to be here. I know it's been, a couple of weeks since I have recorded a video for uh, Testimony Tuesday with Hanisha, but I was a little under the weather and trying to restore my health, get my energy back. And I actually was going to come in here and still film, but I was all nasally and I'm still a little congested. But nonetheless, I'm here. I'm not at 100%, but I'm like 95% better. So I want to come on here to talk to you about um, not giving up. And forgive me, I was like, I had a brain. I'm like, what do I want to talk to them about? Being honest with you, I don't really have a set like title or subject that I want to talk to you about. But before I pressed the record button, I was like, okay, God, what do you want me to talk to them about today? And I want to talk to you about facing your fears head on. And I know that can be scary. I know there is many, if you break the word fear down, some people have different, I think it's acronyms. I don't know. I hope I'm saying the right word. But I know that, if you break the word fear down, it stands for false evidence appearing real, right? And so at least that's one I like to subscribe to, false evidence appearing real. And so a lot of times we conjure up these things in our mind that probably will never happen, right? For me, I'll give you an example. I had some back pain, and I'm like, it was in the area, so I thought in the area of where my kidneys are located at. And so, of course, I'm one of those people who, I like to stay on top of my health, and I go get my physicals and my follow-ups and stuff with my physicians. And you know, sometimes I'm just like, and especially with my family history, I'm like, I can't play with my health like that. And so, when I had that pain in that area, I was like, okay, something's wrong with my kidneys. And so I immediately made an appointment with my physician to have her possibly do some scans or some blood work or something like that, right? And so, I got my scans. Come to find out there's nothing wrong. But again, I was proactive. I faced it head on. And maybe that's a poor example. I don't know. To you, it may not be that scary. But like I said, based on my family history, and especially with my mother who had chronic kidney failure, and who was also misdiagnosed by her team of physicians, unfortunately. She had a health condition that if it had been caught earlier, maybe she would have still been here. Maybe. But I definitely believe in divine timing, and I subscribe to that. When it's your time, it's your time. And so a lot of times when we lose our loved ones, it's hard to accept. But anyway, getting back on track, like I said, based on my family history, I don't play with my health. If I have, any type of pain or discomfort, and especially if it lasts for days, I'm on top of it. I'm all over it. I don't care if people call me a hypochondriac. I do not care. I do not play with that. And so, it's just facing your fears. Let's say if you ever wanted to do something, like you wanted to start a business, right? But you feel like you don't have the proper tools or the knowledge to, or the resources or the support system that you think that you need. Um, by facing that, doing the research yourself, and I'm not going to say it's easy always, but taking that initiative and that first step towards yourself. Let's say, like I said, if you want to start a business, doing the research, learning how to take the first steps to obtain your EIN. It's like a social or tax ID number for your business. Setting up your business account. Establishing business credit, getting your DUNS number. It's a lot of things. And being honest, if we're talking about business and setting it up properly, I took the steps, but I'm still learning too. And it is intimidating, especially when you go and try to obtain like grants or loans. You have to have or use the right verbiage or the right terms, or your applications can be denied. And if you don't know and you're not privy to that information, then you could potentially miss out on some things. So it's just taking that initiative, taking that first step, but overcoming that fear. Don't let it handicap you. Don't let it stop you because you don't know. Ask. And right now, the age that we're living in, everything is at our fingertips. Anything that you want to know is right at your fingertips, meaning you can go on Google, you can go to YouTube. There's a ton of videos on starting your business, or if you're into culinary arts, if you want to learn recipe, there is a ton of information out there. Even if you want to do it the old school way, which I still like to do, go to the library, look up some books. Just taking that initiative and taking those first steps towards yourself, but facing your fears. Again, it's false evidence appearing real, meaning it's all up here. It's all up here. Anything that you want to do, you can do, if only you believe. And if you believe in you, then others will start to believe in you as well. And sometimes that's okay. You may have a vision and you may have a dream, and you express that to your family or your friends or your colleagues, and they're like, yeah, man, I don't get it. I don't see it. It's not for everyone. It is your vision, your dream. And so it's your responsibility and your duty to what? Nurse that dream, to take the necessary steps to pour into yourself, pour into your dreams, make your dreams a reality. But you only can do that by facing your fears. A lot of times we allow our fears to handicap us. And for me, I'm gonna be honest, like I said, going back to the business, I wasn't privy to a lot of information when I first started my business. I never took a business course in my life. The closest thing to that, I took marketing in high school, but how many years ago was that? So I obtained only so much of that information, but I followed my dreams. I had a passion and a strong desire to become a business owner and an entrepreneur, and I wanted to not only do this for myself but for my family, and to show other women of color that anything is possible. I came from humble beginnings. When I say humble beginnings, and that's not to say that my parents, they worked themselves up to become middle class working people, but we came from humble beginnings. We was not born with silver spoons in our mouth. Nothing was handed to us. We had to work for everything that we had and continue to. And just because I have a business, I'm not a rich woman yet. I'm working on that. So, it's a lot of other things that I strive to do and I want to do, and I am going to do. I want to get off into like commercial real estate. I want to get into doing some projects in the community to serve other people, So, it's a lot of things that I don't know. but I'm not going to let that stop me. Am I, or do I get intimidated sometimes? You bet your buttons. I do. But again, I'm not, it's just not in me to quit. I may take some time to sit and reflect, or really think over what I really want to do. And that's something that I would encourage you to do. Write it down, and I'm not the best with that, and I'm getting better with that, but write your dreams down, write your goals down, write your accomplishments down, celebrate your wins. I don't care how small they are. But again, like I say, just sticking to the topic, facing your fears, do not let that handicap you. Do not let it stop you, because it's not even real. It's not. Also, another thing. Now, I'm going to another subject, because, like I said, I didn't really have a concrete topic today. But learning when to turn the page, learning when to accept that there's a new season in your life. Getting out of your comfort zone. We're not meant to stand or be still. Our bodies are made to move. And so, if there's a situation in your life or relationship that's no longer serving your highest good, if the exchange of energy is no longer a fair exchange, and it's no longer a positive exchange, then have the courage to turn that page, to explore other possibilities. Don't block yourself. And that's another thing too, going back to fear. A lot of times we get stuck in situations and jobs and in relationships or marriages or just circumstances in life because of fear. The fear of the unknown. You don't know what's on the other side. You don't know if you do decide to leave or do something different, if it's going to work out. And again, I talked about that the last video, about trusting yourself, trusting in God, trusting yourself. And so, like I said, for me, I pray heavily. I pray a lot, and I talk to God like all day, every day. So, again, that's a part of facing your fears. I was in, just to give you an example, because this is Testimony Tuesday. So, as far as a relationship, I was in a relationship for probably like a little over 4 years, and it was emotionally abusive. There was a little bit of physical abuse. I decided, I remember it was the new year, and I had prayed about it, that in December, before the new year had arrived, and I was just tired. But in my heart, I still cared for him. I still cared for him, and I had love for him, and I wanted to stay. But deep down in my heart and in my spirit, I knew that was not the right thing for me. And now, in all fairness, that's not to say that he was like a bad person. Again, hurt people. We are all damaged goods in a sense, right? We have all experienced, some degree of trauma, if not a lot of trauma, in our lives, and it's not just adults. Children experience trauma too. That's where it stems from. And so I'm not going to say or beat him up or bash him and say he was a terrible person. We were not good for each other at that time. At that time in my life, I was probably in my 20s. I had not even thought about starting, on my healing journey. I didn't even know what that looked like at the time, right? But I knew still in my spirit that this was not a good fit for me anymore. And so the new year came. I think he went to a party, and I decided to just stay home. And when he came by the next day on the new year, and I had decided to break up with him. And so it wasn't an easy thing to do. It was very emotional, even though I feel like our relationship was a bit toxic for the both of us. I'm not just going to say it was him. It takes two. But it was still, I still had that emotional attachment to him, even though I knew that we were not necessarily good for each other, especially at that juncture in our lives. We were not. So, I decided to end things with him. And looking back on it, it was a wise decision. No, I'm not in the business of breaking anyone's heart or hurting anyone's feelings, but you have to know when the season is ending, or the cycle has ended, and you have to make room for new opportunities. You have to be willing and receptive to growth. You don't ever want to hold yourself back. And looking at his life, from what I know, I mean, I don't speak to him currently, but from what I know, he's doing well too. And so it was a good decision for the both of us. It really was. And I have no hard feelings. I still have love for him, in a sense where not romantic feelings, but just as a human being. I appreciate the experience. And so I'm grateful for that time that we did share space and time together. You know what I'm saying? So it definitely taught me a lot of things about what I wanted and what I didn't want in a relationship. And it taught me a lot about myself. So just having that courage, listening to that inner voice, and knowing when to put one foot in front of the other and keep it moving. Because you don't ever want to get stagnant. You don't want to block yourself. And so I'm here today to tell you, whatever it is that you have in your heart that you desire and that you want to do it. Do it for you. Listen to that inner voice and that inner nudge. Listen to it. Don't be afraid. Like I say, fear stands for false evidence appearing real. It's not even real. Put that one foot in front of the other, and have the courage to walk into that new chapter, to walk into your destiny, and have the guts to align with your purpose. You can do it. You can. And I'm not just sitting up here. Now I'm going to be honest. Yes, it's easier said than done. It is easier said than done. I cried a lot. I went back and forth within myself about a lot of things in my life, but I am proud to say that I did make some good decisions. And I'm glad that I had the courage to recognize that, it was time to turn that page and explore that new chapter in my life. And I want to continue to do that. And so I want to encourage you to do the same. Turn the page. Have the courage to turn that page and walk into your new chapter, your new season of your life, and explore it. I'm sure there's many opportunities that awaits, but you don't want to delay, because, it's not guaranteed that it's going to wait for you. Like I say, we have to move in our faith, and we have to be steadfast, and, just trust in God, and trust that everything will be okay, because it will. Now, on another note, well, before I go into that, I hope and pray that I have encouraged, my words have encouraged you to face your fears, because guess what? They're not even real. They're not. You know, if you want to open up a coffee shop, do it. If you want to get into real estate, do it. If you want to open up a child care center, do it. If you want to open up a restaurant, do it. Yes, it's not easy. It takes a lot of hard work and dedication and research. Don't be afraid. Like I say, if you want to open up a restaurant, go and ask, go into a restaurant and ask, speak to the owner or the manager and ask them. I mean, if they're willing to talk to you. Not everyone is always so willing and open to tell you, their steps and how they got started, or to point you in a direction, or tell you about certain resources that are available to you. But don't let that stop you. Keep asking. Google, whatever you need to do it. Face your fears. Face your fears. Because they're not real. Don't get in your own way. Don't block yourself. All right. So on another note, so for me, speaking of that, facing my fears and being confident. So this next chapter for me, for those who know me personally, the nature of my business. I am operating as a nail salon currently. But I have also decided to incorporate holistic services and products into my business. So Beautiful Peace is actually transitioning over to a holistic and wellness space or center. And so again, like I say, I'm currently still operating as a nail salon, but I'm so excited about this new chapter to offer holistic and wellness services and products, because I want to be a blessing in, my community, or be that resource for my surrounding, the people in the surrounding communities to come, because being honest, we don't really have that type of stuff or type of access to like holistic care or wellness. And so my goal is to build a network of holistic practitioners and wellness professionals to provide services for the people in the community. Who would have, I never would have thought that I would be getting into holistic health, but it only makes sense because my great grandmother, she was into natural remedies and cures and herbs, and she had a garden, she had a peach orchard across from her house, and like I said, when we used to go visit them in the summertime, we would be out there picking peas with her and picking peaches off the trees and eating them. They were the best peaches ever. But and then my mom, that was passed down to her, she was into herbs and teas. My mom introduced us to herbal teas when we were children, like we were young. It was one tea, and some of y'all may know what I'm talking about. It's sleepy time tea. And so when mom was like, hey, y'all getting a little bit rambunctious, it's time to lay it down. So she would give us sleepy time tea with a little honey, and I loved it. I don't know about my siblings. I think they liked it too. But anyway, if they didn't, it worked. It really did. And so, fast forward, now I'm like following in their footsteps. And so I'm just happy about that. And I'm honored that they passed the baton to me, and entrusted me with this. And I pray that they are, guiding me along this journey as well, because I'm new to this, this holistic world. Like I say, I was introduced to it as a child, and mom would do certain natural, things, or like if we had a cold, she would give us teas and different herbs. But for me to do this as a practice and as a business, and to offer holistic services, this is something that's definitely new for me, and so that's what I want to share with you all too, for those who do know and those who are local and who are familiar with my business. I am currently offering holistic services. If you want to inquire more about the holistic services, they are on my website, with a detailed description on each service, and their products too. That is beautifulpeace.net. Again, it's beautifulpeace.net. If you are a current client, I'm actually, for your first holistic service, I'm running that for the first, I'm gonna say, I haven't really decided, but I think I'm gonna run it for like 90 days, for your first, or for maybe for the rest of the year. When you schedule your first holistic service, you'll get a $10 discount off of that service, off your first visit, your first holistic service. And so I'll be posting more information in regards to that, about the discounts, and then there'll be some other specials coming up. So look, be on the lookout for that. I'm on all social media platforms. You can find Beautiful Peace and search that website and look at some of the services that I offer. So I'm excited about that, facing my fear, not being intimidated, and I'm still learning and growing in this industry, and it's just a lot to learn. I have my books at home on herbs and essential oils, and I'm just excited about what awaits, the opportunities that awaits, and I'm excited to have a positive impact on the people in the community and the people that I currently serve, and new clients to come. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Face your fears. It's not real. Do it. Whatever you want to do, just do it. And so with that, I one of the services that I offer is sound therapy. And so I just want to give you a little taste of that. If you don't know what sound therapy is, one of the instruments that we use is, they're called singing bowls, and it's made out of crystal quartz. And so there's a ton of information on sound therapy, sound healing. If you want to look up singing bowls, I didn't want to make this a lengthy video. And so, I'm going to read you. So I'm going to play a little bit of the singing bowl first, and then I'll read you just a little bit. It's on my brochure, but a little bit about sound therapy. So here we go. All right. So I hope and pray you enjoyed that. Even with, me playing the singing bowl on a video, you can still receive that benefit. And especially if you have them on earbuds. I mean, you can really feel that, absorb that healing energy and those healing frequencies that's emitted when we play that. And so to close it out, I want to read something from one of my brochures that I have on sound therapy. So it says, you are energy and energy only. Your energy is arranged in a particular form that makes you the human being you are. Your particles are always moving in their assigned form, always alive with possibility and vibrating a frequency that keeps you healthy and in the right form. The movement is known by many different names, including ki, prana, and spirit. Anything that upsets the frequency brings about the wrong movement for a body, organ, or system. We experience that as discomfort or dis-ease. Our particles are not at ease anymore, and the music their movement makes together is dissonant instead of harmonious. Introducing the right sound at the right vibrational frequency to bring your particles back to the frequency they want and should be in is called sound healing. And so that's a brief synopsis of what sound healing, sound therapy is and what it can do for you. So if you're interested and want to learn more, please visit beautifulpeace.net. Look up sound therapy. There's a detailed description of what sound therapy is. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me with any questions or concerns that you may have. I'm here. So on that note, I want to say I wish you all much love, much light, peace of mind, peace in your spirit and your heart, and joy, and just good health. Stay healthy, y'all, because there's a lot of stuff going on out here. And I know I was ill back at the beginning of the year, back in January, and I actually was diagnosed with COVID, and then turned around, I had another little nasty virus. I think it was like an upper respiratory infection, some type. I wasn't diagnosed with COVID. I was negative for that and strep. So it was just a little upper respiratory infection or virus. But take your vitamins. I'm about to get back on it, especially with me doing and offering holistic services. I have to practice what I preach. I really do. And I have to get diligent about really taking better care of myself, because I always preach that self-care. Create a self-care regimen. Take care of yourself. So I have to implement these things in my life as well, and be the example. And like I say, my life has to exemplify that, So just take care of yourself. Take your vitamins, juice, drink plenty of water, get your fruits and your vegetables in, and your grains and things like that. Eat raw, fresh food if you can. Stay away from processed foods. Dairy is highly inflammatory for the system. It wreaks havoc on the system heavily. And I do like, certain dairy foods. So again, I am practicing what I preach, and I am making some necessary lifestyle changes. So I hope and pray I encourage you to do the same, because we only get this one body, y'all. We only get this one, as I call it, our vehicle. We only get this. I can't trade it in for a newer model, That's the disadvantage of this bodysuit. We can't trade it in for a new model. You can trade your car in and get a new model and upgrade every couple of years. You can't do that with your body. So take care of it, because you only get this one vessel, this one vehicle, So that's enough. I want to wish, like I said, I hope and pray that you enjoy the rest of your morning, your afternoon, or your evening. And I look forward to speaking with you all again next week. I promise I will, because I'll have some time off as I'm going through this transition. But I look forward to speaking to you all again next Tuesday for Testimony Tuesday with Hanisha. All right, guys, thank you again for tuning in. If you haven't already done so, please like, share, and subscribe, especially if you're on YouTube. Please subscribe, please. And share with your friends, and please don't be shy. Comment, leave some comments if it's something that you want me to talk about, or you want to have a discussion with me about something. Drop some comments, let me know. I'm here for it. So, and make sure it's done with love and respect. I want to keep that positive exchange going. So anywho, I'll see you guys next week. Until then, take care, be blessed, stay healthy. Love you guys. Peace.